we go. We are recording, officially recording. So I'm excited to be with you today. Karen, thank you for setting up this meeting. My name is Eric Johnson. I'm the creator and CEO of Teamzy. How many of you are already using Teamzy, or at least in trying it out? Okay, good. So a good number of you. What I want to do is just pack as much training into this little bit of time we have together as possible. And so make sure that you've got notes, something to take notes in ready. I apologize for my funny accent, but it's been a long time since we've been here separated from you.
We've all got funny accents.
We've all got funny accents. Well, I mean, yours sound great to me, but I know they're different. I will go. I'm going to go quickly. But we are recording. It may feel like you are sipping water from a fire hose occasionally, and I apologize for that. But I want to cram it all in. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you Teamzy, the software platform that's going to make your life so incredibly easy. I'll show you how to use it. I'll show you the workflows for a power hour. Show you how to follow up. Right? We'll have a full Q&A on that. But also, I want to just teach you a little bit about the principles Teamzy is based on, because it's not just software that enables you to reach out and connect and follow up efficiently. It's based on the philosophy of relationship marketing. So I want to explain that a little bit to you so you understand the heart and soul behind the system. It'll help you to work it. And then we'll dive into the software. Sound good? Okay, great. Let's see here. I'm having a little bit of technical challenges today. Oh, there we go. My computer's just lagging. Are you seeing my presentation now? Good.
Yes, I am.
Great. It's pretty amazing. It is transmitting quite a distance, right? Okay. Well, it's lagging. Here we go. This is what I want to talk to you about. How to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. There's a lot of pieces there. We're going to unpack them. Okay. Just a little backstory about me, since I know we haven't met personally. My background's not in direct selling or network marketing. I'm what's called an outsider. And a lot of times people are surprised by this when I talk to people. They're like, you remember Eric back in the 90s when I'm like, no, I don't remember that. I wasn't in this industry. My background is business coaching and consulting. I've been a professional business coach 20 years. Before that, I ran small businesses. And my focus has been how to build a business that's based on relationships, true, authentic relationships. Okay. And it's been good to us. We've been blessed. It's been good eating for my family for 20 years. About 7 years ago, I discovered the network marketing direct sales opportunity. And I thought, this is amazing. I could actually create a new business with basically zero investment, right? And this would enable me to create some additional income for my family. And really what I was hoping to do was to free up my time. I just wanted to be around my family and enjoy my life more. Can anyone relate to that? And so here's a shot of the family here. I have 4 kids, and I really felt like I never saw my children or my wife. We used to joke that I only knew how to recognize my children when they were in their pajamas, because when I left for work, they were in pajamas. When I returned from work, they were back in their pajamas, right? So I never saw them in regular clothes. And then, once the kids were down, I had 30, 40 minutes to spend with my wife each evening. And that was pretty much my life. And I'm sure that many of you can relate to that. That's kind of our life, right? And you've got to go to work and you've got to provide. And I'm not complaining, because I absolutely loved my job. I loved being a business consultant. It was incredibly rewarding. I just also wanted to be part of my family. And so the direct sales opportunity looked really great to me, because I said, I could build this business and it could create flexibility of time for me. And it could create the income that would replace my job. This would be great. So I dove right in and started my business. Now, here's my challenge, and maybe you guys can relate to this as well. I already don't have time. How am I going to build another business? Right? When am I going to do this? I still have to go to work every day. I still have only 30 minutes with my wife. So how will I build this business? And so I sat down with my wife. We looked at the calendar. I said, if I think I could squeeze 1 hour. 1 hour a day, I could focus on this business. And I think that could be enough. And just full disclosure, if you're wondering where that hour came from, I slept less. I slept less. Sometimes you got to sleep less when you're building, right? So I set about my 1 hour a day. Now, here was my challenge. There's a lot to do. How am I going to leverage that time? What tools are available to me? Surely there's got to be some software that's available to leverage my time. And this is where Teamzy kind of came about, because there was nothing out there for our industry. And many industries have all kinds of software to support business building, sales, connecting, all that. There was nothing in our industry. At least there was nothing that was based on building relationships, which was another issue I soon came across. And maybe some of you can relate to this. I started my business and I had no clue what to do as far as like the official way to do things. I just knew that if I passionately shared what I was doing with people I cared about, I could help them, and then my business started growing. And so my very first month, I actually brought on 12 partners onto my team, and I was just helping people and enjoying it. And that apparently ranked me up to a certain rank. And suddenly I got a call from somebody at corporate, and they said, "Congratulations on getting to this rank. We're now putting you in a special group of other leaders, and we are going to teach you now how to be successful." Awesome. So I get on this group, 20 other leaders, most of whom had been in the business maybe about 5 years. And they knew it all. They knew the comp plan in and out. Like, these people knew everything. And guess what I found out that they knew too? They believed the only way to build this business was by taking a list and just pounding it with cheesy, spammy sales messages, right? And would you like to see my offer? Would you like to see my offer? Would you like to see my offer? They said, "Eric, congratulations. You're here just in time. We're doing a go for no challenge. We're going to see who can get the most no's." Why would you go for no's? Well, because no's reveal yeses. I'm like, no, they don't. That's insane thinking. How does rejection reveal yes? Right? That's not true. It's crazy, right? Yvonne's doing this. Yes, you're right. What was it? They say the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting a different result, right? I said, "You guys are insane. I've been teaching this at that time, 15 years. 15 years I've been in this business. That doesn't work. That's old school mentality." They're like, "No, it works. The top person in our company did it this way." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because 2 to 3% of the population of the world are wired that way. The rest of us, it breaks our heart to get rejected." How many of you guys hate being rejected? I'm kind of going off on a tangent. This inspired me to build Teamzy. I knew that other people needed the systems I had been teaching business owners for years, that our industry needed it, and we needed the software to support it. And that's why I put together a team of people much smarter than me with some chicken scratch and a notebook and said, "Could you build this system for me?" And so we built Teamzy. We launched it just over 5 years ago, just to kind of give you all an idea of what's happened in about 5 years. We have grown person to person, people recommending it to each other, right? And in those 5 years, we've helped more than 150,000 network marketers worldwide. And our active users are averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. Consistent energy, consistent action applied over time gets consistent results. Does this make sense? And so I will show you guys how we do that in Teamzy. But first, let me get back to our topic, which is relationship marketing. And I've already kind of gone off on the tangent, so you're getting an idea of what I'm talking about here with relationship marketing. But I just want you to understand this. And some of you guys will really resonate because your heart is connected to this way of doing business. Relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. One of the biggest problems in our industry, and have any of you come across people who are skeptical or maybe a little burned in the past by somebody else yeah. Why is that? Because they felt the sale was more important than the relationship. This person just wants to get a sale from me, right? No, we put the people first, and it's an important piece to this. Also, relationship marketing is not an abstract feel-good concept. It's not just like, we're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya at the end of the Zoom today. Though if some of you really want that, I'm up for it. I'll do it with you. I may not know very many of the words, but we'll go for it. But I want you to know this is a proven system. It's a proven system we follow. Okay. Always knowing what to do next. And I'll show you guys that. The heart, you can't fake. The heart has to be right, but then you follow the system and everything works. Okay. The last piece on relationship marketing I want to make sure you understand is that relationship marketing is a lead generation system, Okay. And that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. You are not salespeople for Healy. I mean, I shouldn't say that. You are not merely salespeople for Healy. We're all salespeople. But you are business owners. First and foremost, you're business owners. And the business owner's role is generating leads. You're in the lead generation business, right? Initiating interest or inquiry, if you would prefer to say it that way. Why is this so important? Because we can be very busy without being effective in our day, correct? Now, here's the next principle that I want you to get, which brings the heart back into it. And that's that developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Okay, so simply put, we want to meet people and build relationships with them. Okay? The business will grow as a result of that focus. Now, why is the relationship building more important than trying to get a sale or trying to get a new partner for the business? The relationship is more important because, well, first of all, it's the right thing to do. Can I get an amen on just it being the right thing to do? Okay, because that's important. All right. The next piece is that we turn relationships into advocates. Relationships become our advocates. We do it by investing time and providing outstanding service. What's an advocate? An advocate is somebody who's so excited about your mission that they want to tell other people about it. Have you come across people who maybe feel, well, this is really cool what you're doing. It's not really for me. That person can be your advocate. When they get infected by your passion, they'll tell people, oh, wait, what's going on with you? You've got chronic back pain that no one can help you with? Oh, you should talk to my friend Karen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not really exactly sure what she does. She has all kinds of degrees and trainings, and she has this cool. The bottom line is, this is what she does. You need to talk to her. See, you can create an army of advocates. This is how your business grows. You become with all the people you know in your center of influence, you become the center expert on this topic. Does this make sense? And so when we build relationships, it doesn't matter if they say, nah, it's not really for me. It's not my thing. We're training them to be advocates for us. And this is why the go for no concept is, I'm trying to think of a nice word. I'm not going to use the nice word. It's idiotic. Why? Because you throw the people who say no, you throw them over your shoulder like a dead body and move on. Those people should be building as advocates, right? How many of you said yes the first time someone mentioned it? Very few people. Couple. There you go. Yes. Don't keep your hopes up, and you're going to find a lot of people like you. Most people will say no at first because we're trained to. We're trained to be skeptical, to ask questions and say no, right? So that's normal. It's totally cool. And I'm going to show you guys how we do this as we go. Next principle. This one's a biggie. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. I think it should go without saying, you can't be disingenuous if you want this to work, right? What I like to say is, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work, right? If you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. And I know there's all kinds of bad English in that sentence, and that's okay. You just chalk it up to me being American and we'll move on. Okay, so, but it's easy to remember, right? If you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Why do I say this? Because I felt, when I was new to the business, I felt almost everything they were asking me to do didn't feel right to me. Well, this works. It's like, I don't want to manipulate people into my product. I want to help people with my product. So my mentor and one of the co-founders of Teamzy, Mike Lopez, he says all sales techniques work or people wouldn't employ them, but that doesn't mean it's congruent with who you are and how you want to run your business. Make sense? So for this system to work, nothing disingenuous. We don't try to create intrigue or mystery. We don't try to, sneak in presentations when, we tell people what's going on, what we're passionate about. And I'll explain this to you as we go. But here's the good news. When they trust you, the work is fun. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to try to sell people. You can get right to helping them, right? Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. I don't know if ickiness is a word that you guys use, but being an icky salesperson, anyone want to be seen that way? No way. We don't want to be an icky salesperson. But when there's trust, that's not an issue. And then instead of going for no, we're going for yes. Right? We're going for yes. Now, let me talk about how to build the trust. There are 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Whether or not you leave this call wanting to use Teamzy, hopefully you will love it, but you'll at least have these principles you can apply in your business. Number 1, so here they are. Number 1 is chemistry. Okay, chemistry. Number 2 is character. Okay, character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Okay, chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Let's talk about these quickly. Now, chemistry is not, we're not mixing up drugs or chemicals, right? We're using the more modern definition on this. Chemistry is creating a connection with someone. Okay, it's creating a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to? What is it about you they can relate to? This is super important because people want to do business with friends. This is a simple principle. People want to do business with friends. They do not want to do business with someone they don't like. Have you guys experienced this? Have you experienced doing business and somebody just rubs you the wrong way? Does it make you want to go back and use them again? I always joke the only time that we put up with somebody being a big jerk is if they're the best brain surgeon in the world, or they're a defense attorney and we're in hot water, right? That's the only time. Otherwise, forget it. We don't want to do business with you. We want to do business with a friend. So it's important to find that connection, ask questions, find out what you have in common with people. It's a big deal. There's more than one person representing Healy in the world. We want them to come to you because they feel comfortable. And honestly, there's so much information on the internet. True. This is why, just a little side tangent. I'm going to go off I call them passion tangents. So this will derail us a little, but hopefully the best nuggets are in the passion tangents. So much of the world is still teaching the old school sales technique where the salesperson tries to control the flow of information and steer a person towards a sale, get to the close. That doesn't work because people have access to all the information. You can't control the information. They have access to all the information. The challenge that people have is that they're overwhelmed by information. They need trusted advisors to help them make sense of the information, to help make recommendations to them. Did you know they did a recent study? I've been quoting this quote for years, 84%. They recently did the study and found it's up to 90%. 90% of purchasing decisions are based on the recommendation of a friend. It's not based on internet research. It's not based on advertising and marketing. I mean, those things may help, but it's based on the recommendation of a friend. We need people to help us make sense of the information. Make sense? So that's not just about chemistry. I kind of went off on a tangent. That's going to underscore all 4 of these points, but let's keep going here. It's so important though that you take time to build that rapport with people. Number 2, character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. We think of character as something we have, like an intrinsic thing. Sometimes people think of it as it's the sum of everything I've ever done. I've done more good than bad, so I have good character. No, it's not. Character is not something you have. Character is something you do. Character is present tense. Make sense? How are you demonstrating care for others? And this is probably the most important thing in your business. If you want to build a relationships-based business, authentic, your character has to be rock solid. People have to know you care about them. And so this is your filter for life. Going to post on social media, great. How will this post help people? Make sense? How do I take care of, do I show how much I care about others and how I follow up, how I take care of my customers, how I connect with people, how I drive my car, right? Does driving my car demonstrate care for others? You laugh, but these are important things, right? And this is one of my things I always joke about, returning the shopping cart to the shopping cart area, right? It's a small thing, but some people leave it in the middle of the parking lot or the car park, right? Why would you do that? That doesn't show care for others. Put it away, right? Help other people put it away. You know, it's so funny with all the COVID hysteria right now. Is it okay for me to call it hysteria? It's kind of hysteria, right? I was at the store the other day, in the parking lot, and I was returning my cart. And as I'm passing, another woman had just finished unloading hers into the trunk of her car. And I said, let me take that for you. Right? Isn't that a normal thing? I tell you, she responded like I was about to infect her and all her loved ones. She's like, she yanked her cart and she goes, I'll take it myself. I said, okay, sure thing. Take it yourself. Have a great day. It's all good. What are you going to do? At least I showed her that I cared and I tried, right? That's all you can do is show people that you care and you try. So this is really important. Character, how much you care and that you're relatable. The relatable piece, this is very important. How many of you would like to build large, successful, profitable businesses? It's okay if you don't, but you don't have to listen to everything I'm saying if you don't. Okay. It's important because as you get to that place, you have to remember to be relatable. You have to stay in the story of how you got started and struggled. Does it make sense? And I talk to a lot of people in this business that have kind of forgotten how they built their business. You know, they're busy jet setting around and showing off their big house. I'm like, hey, no. Like that's inspiring to some extent, but you got to tell people how you struggled to get here because they need to be in your shoes. Does this make sense? So part of your care is staying in your humble shoes and communicating that to people so they can relate to you. Okay, number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay, competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. There's 2 pieces. The first is, do I believe you actually can help me with my problem? Right? You represent a very sophisticated product. This isn't face cream, right? So can you explain it to me how it works? Can you tell me how this is going to help me? Do you have stories that you can share? Does this make sense? I need to know you're competent. And if you're family or friend, I may have seen you not being competent at other times. As I like to say, I may have seen you with your pants on backwards in the past, right? So how now do I suddenly believe that you're this amazing, competent person? So this is something you have to demonstrate. You can't just be competent. You have to demonstrate. I have to see your journey. I have to see you becoming this person. Make sense? So if you're new to the business, you need to be sharing what you're learning and the science that you're learning and sharing articles and letting people know that you are growing in this area and becoming a true competent person. Does this make sense? The other piece of this is not to pretend you're something you're not. Okay. So when you're new, it's okay to be new. Don't pretend to be an expert. What you want to do when you're new is you want to talk about your team's competence. You want to share stories about people on the team who are amazing and the successes they've had and how they're mentoring you. Does this make sense? Sometimes it's not necessarily your competence that they need confidence in. It's just that you're part of a winning team. That works too. And the same thing for the business. How do I believe like the product's great? Okay, great. You've got me sold. You can help me with the product. Why should I join you on your team? Can you help me be successful? Do I see you being successful in the business? And again, this is sharing stories, sharing those little milestones that you hit, the little bonuses that you get, sharing that with people. You know, what has the business done for you? You know, has it helped you make a mortgage payment? Share that. Did it help with, being paused for work for COVID, but you had income coming in? So people see these little milestones and they believe that you're somebody who can lead them. Does this make sense? It's very important. Okay, so chemistry, character, competence. Really quick before I go on to number 4, there's a principle that underlies these that I want to share with you. And this is a big one, okay? If somebody's going to do business with you or even consider it, they really only care about 3 things. And here's what they are. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, I call these heart questions because they don't ask them. They often just feel them. Make sense? But this is really important. And if you're taking notes, write those 3 down. If that's all you get from today's call, it will have been time well spent. Because if they believe the answers to these questions are yes, you have an advocate. If they believe one or more of these is no, they will never do business with you. Not only that, they're likely to tell others not to do business with you. Has that been any of you in the past with some other business where you're like, forget these people. They don't care about us. Okay. Now here's the good news. If somebody's not sure, they think it might be a yes, but they're not sure, then they will raise objections. Okay. Now objections are a good thing. Objections mean, I think the answers to these are yes, but I need you to show me. Does it make sense? Objections are good. It gives you a chance to invest more in the relationship, to serve the person, to bring them some education. And as you overcome objections and you get to help somebody with the product, even though they had objections, just remember you need to continue to invest in that relationship, which is what Teamzy's for. I'll show you in a minute, so that you get to the point where in the future they don't continue to have objections. They feel good about things. Make sense? Okay. Number 4 is consistency. And there is no greater way to build trust than by being consistent. In fact, I always joke about, in my consulting business, people put things on their website like service you can trust, or, why you can trust us with your business. I'm like, I never advertise that you can trust us. That's the most untrustworthy thing ever. If I have to tell you to trust me, right? Trust me. Yeah. It's like when people say, I swear it's the truth. It's like, no, people who tell the truth don't swear it's the truth. Right? I always tell because my kids do this. How many of you have children or have raised children? I always tell my kids this, I swear, Daddy. I go, people who swear are people who lie. Liars swear because they're basically saying, I lie all the time, but right now, this time I'm telling the truth, right? Not trustworthy. Being consistent is how you build trust, right? And so consistency, what does that look like in our business? Well, the most obvious one is being a product of the product, right? Being a product of the product. And you don't just represent a product, you represent a lifestyle, right? And so I would say, one of the things you could do to be consistent is to live a lifestyle that's consistent with Healy and the products you represent, right? The next piece of this would be social media, sharing. How many of you are consistent on social media? I mean, I don't mean just posting advertisements, but again, educating, helping, lifting people up, right? Things that are relevant to what you're doing. These are all things that we can do. And most of the time when I train teams, I go, duh, Eric, we get that. Like, we got to be on social media sharing. Obviously, if we want to have a business, we need to be using our products. That's great. But what people miss is that when the key to this business is relationships. And if you want to build relationships, there's only one thing you can be doing, and that's being in contact with people, regular connecting with people. And this is where the consistency matters. Let me just give you this principle. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. It means that when you're being consistent, not only will people trust you, but they're attracted to you. They want to be part of what you're doing, right? They want to be a part of what you're doing, because they see what you're doing is so positive. Does this make sense? Often when we join a team, we love the team even more than we do the products, right? Because now we're part of a group of people trying to be consistent, and it's uplifting for us. So this is huge. But let's get back to this. So I want to talk to you about being consistent with your relationships. Zig Ziglar, have any of you ever read Zig Ziglar or listened to him? He's amazing. If I have time in the Q&A, I'll tell you my Zig Ziglar story, but I won't go off on another tangent right now. He used to call it a checkup from the neck up. A checkup from the neck up. Are you as consistent with connecting with relationships as maybe posting on social media, using your own product, things like that? Because this is what matters, right? Relationship building is a contact sport. If you want relationships, you have to be in regular contact. Okay. And for 20 years, I've been teaching business owners. You want to build a business? You need to be in contact with people, checking in with people constantly. Now, here's the principle. This is the big principle of the evening. And then I'm going to show you Teamzy, I promise. That's next. But you got to get this first. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. In fact, I need to rewrite this to make it more specific. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. Now, just really quick, I just want to pause for a second. Okay, come on, computer, come back to me. There you go. I want to see your faces. So if your camera's off and you're dressed, turn it back on for a second. Okay. I have to give that little caveat because when you do as many Zooms as me, there's definitely been some nudity here and there. Okay. So what can you say? Americans are prudes, right? Okay. Here we go. How many of you have ever received just like a great card or letter from somebody you love that had a handwritten message When you read that message, it just, man, it just got you right in the heart. Have hopefully everybody, have you all received at least one card or letter like that from a loved one? Yeah. Now what's amazing is when we receive something like that, that handwritten message, how much it impacts us emotionally, right? Now, this next question I have is, did you save it? How many of you thought of one? Did you keep it? Do you have a special spot somewhere where you stash these cards? Most people do. In fact, we'll often keep them forever. And not only will we keep this stash of personal letters and cards forever, when we pass away, often our family will treasure the same ones, even more so than any physical wealth we leave behind, right? Isn't that incredible? The lasting impact that has. Now, I am not telling you guys that you need to be writing cards and letters all day to build your business, but whenever you can think of a reason to write a note to somebody, a handwritten note, you should do it because they may keep it forever. Isn't that incredible? That's an example of investing time and connecting personally with somebody. Now, here's another example. This is a happy, it might be reversed. Sorry, it says happy birthday. This is a happy birthday postcard that I received from my life insurance salesperson. Do you guys ever receive these maybe on your birthday from businesses, people you do business with? You get something like this. Yeah. So is it nice to get, I guess, a little? Do you keep this? Does this get saved in the special place? No way. This gets immediately recycled, right? We don't keep this. The only reason I've kept mine is to make fun of it with you. Okay. So we don't keep this. Why does this not have the same value? So let's look at our principle. First off, this required zero investment of time. No investment of time required. We put no value on it. It's the only thing, it's really the only currency that humans have that's valuable is time, right? I mean, we actually trade time for physical currency, don't we? That we can spend. That's why I'm helping you guys leverage time so you can get more currency for the time you spend. Okay, that was a little runoff. Okay, so we don't keep these. They've invested no time. The other piece is this is not personal. It's not personal. It's a bulk mail out. It's generic, right? And so we place very little value on it, almost zero value on it. Now, this is important because I want you guys to remember everything that you do in your business needs to require an investment of time in somebody personally if you want to deepen the relationship. Now, you don't have to invest a lot of time. In fact, Teamzy is designed so that you can make an impact with just a few seconds that feels like several minutes of investment for them. Make sense? So you can make a big impact quickly and efficiently. But this is an important concept. And as you're out there as a business owner, there's going to be a lot of people who are trying to get your attention and sell you marketing systems. And I want you to look at anything that's marketing related. Is it this is what's called automated marketing, right? Automated marketing. It's so easy. You don't have to do anything. I call it the ineffective marketing. Now, for the investment that he puts into these cards, he probably gets a couple of insurance deals a year and it probably evens out, right? But is this how you want to build your business? Is this how you're going to grow your business? No, it's going to be done by relationship. Does this make sense? You guys with me? Okay. Investment of time. Personal connection. That's how you build and deepen relationships. Okay, just real quick on this last slide and we'll get into Teamzy. This is all, how many of you, you're liking these philosophies? This is you. Do I have anybody who are of the same heart set as me? Okay, great. But this is all, you can't just have philosophy. You got to have a system to follow. You've got to have a system to follow so that you can be efficient with your time and have predictable results, and so you can duplicate it with your teams. You need a way to stay in contact with all of your relationships. You need to know when to contact people. In other words, don't spend all day planning so you can work 1 hour, right? Know what you're going to say. Okay, let me see hands if you've stared at the screen trying to think of what to say to somebody and realized you wasted all your time. Yeah, that was me. That was me too. I want you to know that was me too. It took me a while to figure it out, but I'll share with you guys how to do this. And make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. Make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. Just really, I'm going to jump into Teamzy real quick. Really powerful. I was at a conference years ago and I was actually working for a motivational speaker here in the States. We had a conference with, we had 4,000 real estate professionals at this conference. And at the time, it was a real estate transaction was paid an average commission of $4,000, right? So he had everybody in the audience pull a dollar bill out of their pocket, hold it up in the air, and then he asked them to tear it into tiny pieces and throw it on the floor. And so the whole floor was covered with the remnants of $4,000. And his point was, every time you let somebody fall through the cracks, that's how much money is thrown away, right? It was very powerful. In fact, he got in trouble from the US Treasury Department for destroying currency. But the point was made. We don't want people to fall through the cracks. And this is what part of what I'm going to show you today is because we spend so much energy developing interest, talking to people, presenting the products, and then we mess it up on the follow-up, right? We mess it up on the follow-up. It's crazy. It's like making preparing a beautiful meal for a feast and not putting it in the oven, right? And not finishing it. Okay, so here we go. Let's dive in here. Teamzy. So if you're not already using Teamzy, wait, where is Teamzy? Oh, it's here. Okay. If you're not already using Teamzy, you can go to teamzy.com and set up a free trial. Okay, so you can use it for free. Try it out. Once you've logged into your free trial, this is what you'll be looking at. This is the setup wizard, and this is designed to make setting up the software super easy. You don't have to be a technical wizard to do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it, right? Okay. And I have to admit, I have an 11-year-old son who helps me a lot with stuff I get stuck on. He almost had to come in and troubleshoot this call today because for some reason things weren't working. So that's okay. If you have an 11-year-old in your life, they can help you. Otherwise, you can use my setup wizard, or we'll talk about it a little bit. I also have a team of real life human beings who can help you via Zoom with things if you need help with it. But this is pretty simple. You're going to come in here. There's a little welcome video from me. We'll skip that. The first thing I want you to focus on here is setting an income goal. So what's your income goal going to be? And I know this is dollars, but don't worry about the currency symbol. Just put the income in that you want to earn in your currency. Make sense? So what happens is you can set this by sliding this up or down, and Teamzy automatically adjusts how much activity you need to do daily to hit that number in a year. So this is the income level you want to be at 12 months into the future. Now, my goal was 150,000 because that was the income I wanted to replace. So setting that, you can see Teamzy's telling me I need to connect daily with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 members on my team. That's, what is that, 19 people. 19 a day. Now, do you think you could do that without your arms and legs falling off? Yeah, totally. So I'll show you guys how to do that and what I mean by connect in a second too. So that sets my daily goal. Let's hit continue. Now we're setting up Teamzy. Teamzy is now going to be customized to, I took too long talking. Let me refresh my page. Teamzy is going to be now customized to that goal. So every one of you will have a customized dashboard set to your goals. Okay. Next step is we're going to get all our contacts into Teamzy. So you can get your back office contacts, your team, your customers, your Facebook friends, Instagram followers, wherever you have contacts, you get them in one place, organized. No more sticky notes or pads of paper, spreadsheets. Are you guys with me? Am I hitting anybody here? Do I have any sticky note people on this call? Whiteboard people. So they'll all be in the cloud. Wherever you have your smartphone, you'll have Teamzy. You can get to them. You meet somebody, now you don't have to write them down on a napkin. I don't know if you've ever done that. I have definitely done that. You put them right in, you pull out your phone, put them right in Teams. You put them, I'm going to put you in my contact manager now, follow up with you tomorrow. How's that sound? Perfect. Great. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this is besides having it in one place organized, I'll show you in a second, Teamzy has an algorithm that makes sure that you stay in touch with everybody. Nobody falls through the cracks in Teamzy. Isn't that cool? Even if you totally forget about them, Teamzy will remind you and bring them back, which is pretty cool. Okay, so here's my Teamzy dashboard, and this is the special for Healy version. Okay, so make sure that when you get your free trial, it'll say select your business. There's a drop down. Make sure you select the correct one so you get in the correct version. Okay, and this is customized for you. This section here is just things to help you set up and learn. I'm going to minimize that, get out of our way today because you don't need it. You have me personally. Okay, so looking at this dashboard, now this is the desktop version. Of course, if you use it on your phone, which you can, it just looks more mobile friendly. So I know a lot of you probably live on your mobile phones, so you can use it there too. So if you notice right here where it says today's activities, these are my goals for today. So I want to connect with 9 prospects. You can see I've done 0 so far. That's my progress. Connect with 6 customers, connect with 4 members. So just real quick, what do I mean by connect? This is very important, guys. So if you're taking a nap, come back to me. When I say connect, I don't mean to send some cheesy sales script that says, hey, if I had an incredible opportunity for you, would you take a look and give me your opinion? Or I know you guys have been taught that by somebody, or right. What I mean by connect is my goal is not to lead with the business. My goal is not even to care about that right now. I want to reach out and make their day. Okay. And what I call this is the make someone's day mindset. The goal is just to make their day. That's it. I don't have any ulterior motives. I just want to make their day. I want them to smile and think, that was nice of him to reach out. Okay. And I'll show you guys how to do this. The reason why we do this is because, first of all, it feels amazing. And at least once a day, somebody will actually say, you just made my day, which is pretty cool. But what happens is they respond. The response rate will be incredibly high. It'll be anywhere between 50 and 100% on your messages. Okay. And it just depends on the quality of relationship, whether it's 50 to 100. Okay. But the response rate will be huge. When people respond, now you have an opportunity to have a conversation with them. And I'll teach you guys right now how to do this. So we want to make people's day, prospects, customers, members. And then I've got a goal here to share. So a share is when I share the business opportunity or share the products with somebody. Okay. My goal is just to do that 3 times a day because I know I won't do it on every conversation because it won't be appropriate. Make sense? Some of those conversations, I'm just in the warming up phase. We haven't gotten there yet. And then I've got a goal to add new people to Teamzy every day. That's to keep things fresh, keep fresh. I like to think of a business as like a beautiful lake, right? Maybe you're going to build it into an ocean, right? But let's call it a beautiful lake. And you need fresh water coming into a lake to keep it alive and vibrant, right? So fresh water coming in, and sometimes other water going out. Sometimes you need to throw people out too as you go. But that's why we constantly want to meet new people, put fresh energy into our business. It keeps it vibrant. So we've got a goal daily to add people to Teamzy. Okay. So my goal is 3 people a day. Those are my daily goals. Now, those goals are for when? Today. Now, this is a big principle. I'm going to show you how to do the power hour right now. Most of you raised your hands when I said, do you want to build a large business? If you want to build a large, profitable business, you must have a focus that is small. You must have a focus that's small. You can't focus on 12 months. You have to focus on today. You have to focus on this power hour, which is what Teamzy does. It tells you what to do today. 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 members, 3 shares, 2 ads, and then you're done for today. Repeat tomorrow. Make sense? I've had people tell me their favorite part is that Teamzy tells them to stop working. It tells them you're done. You've crossed the finish. How many of you have ever felt like you've ever crossed the finish line in your business? It's incredibly energizing to cross the finish line on a daily basis. Let me show you how to do this. So let me show you this Power Hour module. Now, keep in mind, Teamzy has all of my contacts. They're in there, their names, their addresses, their phone numbers, the name of their dog, their favorite drink, their favorite coffee drink or tea drink, their spouse's names, their anniversary days. I keep everything in here, right? But what it does here on the dashboard is, and I can look any of that up at any time. This pulls up for me proactively who I need to talk to today. Okay. And it has a very simple way of doing this. We give our contacts a star rating, 5 stars, 1 to 5 stars. Are you familiar with this? You guys, it's probably used on everything, right? 5-star rating. So the 5-star rating creates a priority algorithm for Teamzy. Basically, if I give you 5 stars, you're going to come up first. Okay. After I log a connect with you, you'll come back in 30 days automatically. I don't have to think about it. Remember, I don't have to set a follow-up. If you're 5 stars, you come back in 30 days. If you're 4 stars, you come back in 60 days. If you're 3 stars, you come back in 90 days. This keeps everybody in touch with me, but it also prevents me from overdoing it, right? If you barely know me and I message you every month, you're going to think I'm kind of strange, right? But every few months feels normal and natural, and we're building rapport and getting to know each other over time. This allows you to take a really large list. You might have, you might have 4,000 contacts, but really only have 100 that you feel close to, right? So this allows you to warm up those other 3,900 people over time to build more close relationships. Okay. So let me show you how to do this. The Power Hour module pulls it all out to the front. You don't have to think or plan. This is basically a personal assistant that is planning your day for you and putting it out on your desk. Wouldn't that be cool to walk into an office and have your, your money penny or whatever say, here's your calls for the day. Here's who you're going to connect with. Here's what you're going to do today. And when you're done, you go do whatever you want. Great. So it gives me 4 lists: prospects, customers, members, and my follow-ups list. Okay. That's who I'm going to connect with today on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side is where I'm going to log the message I send them so that's tracked. And I'm done. Right. So let's do this together. I'll show you real quick. So start from left to right. We're going to go. My goal is 9 prospects. Karen's the first person on my list. We are going to message her. Now, this is where I would get stuck and go, what will I say? Maybe I should spend 6 hours strolling through her Facebook page and her Instagram and whatever else, her website, and decide exactly how to message this. Do I have anybody like this? Where's my recovering perfectionists? Okay, so maybe you're not recovering. Hopefully this will put you into recovery, this call, right? Because none of us are perfect. Okay, so when we launched Teamzy, people would come to me and say, Eric, I don't know what to say. When you do the trainings, it sounds so natural. Well, yeah, I've been doing this 20 years, you guys. It's easier for me. I bet all of you have something you've done for 20 years that's incredibly easy for you, right? But let me help you out. I put all my scripts in Teamzy for you. Okay, so for example, I'm going to message Karen. I'm going to click on scripts right there. We're going to send her a Facebook message, and I'm going to connect with her. And there's a bunch you can choose from. I'll take the first one off the top of the list. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. Okay, so copy the script. Great. So I clicked copy script. Now I'm just going to click over here and paste it in Teamzy so I can edit it a little bit. First thing I want to do is put the correct name in. Now, always when you're starting a chat with somebody, always use their first name. Okay. And it's tempting to go, I'm just going to change the scripts to say, hey, doll, or hey, friend, so that I don't have to change the name. But then what happens is you've gone from personal to generic. Make sense? So you want to make sure you always start a chat with their first name, just as if you saw them personally, right? So, hi, Karen, just stopped by. Hello, how are you? Hope your day is awesome. Now, what's funny is, okay, so I know I've got a bunch of you, I've got a bunch of Europeans, and they often tell me, we don't say awesome. That's too American. Great, no problem. Change the word. You guys, it's okay. Don't overthink this. I hope your day is great. Okay? Right. Then I go back to Australia and they're like, we say awesome. It's great. We'll keep the awesome in there. So it's all good. It's all good. I don't want you guys to get caught up on something like a word. You got to understand this, the heart and the psychology behind a message like this. This message says hello. It's just a hi. Just stopping by to say hello reassures her I'm not trying to sell you something right now. Right? How are you? I actually am interested in you, and I hope you have a great day. It takes away all the threat and just it leaves a nice feeling. This is a make someone's day message. Does this make sense? And if you guys use these scripts, you'll find they work incredible. So once you have the message the way you want it, the other thing I like to do is maybe add an emoji or two, right? So we'll just throw an emoji in there. I don't know what emoji you want, just smiley face or something. Oh, it didn't go in. That's weird. I'm gonna have to call Cruz in here. I need some 12-year-old help. There, we got an emoji, but it came out black and white. That's weird. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. My Mac is definitely struggling against me today. So look, I'm going to copy this message so I can send it in Facebook. So I've got it all figured out what I'm going to say. I'll just toggle over to Facebook. I'm going to look up Karen. There she is. Hey, we're Facebook friends now. Isn't that fun? I sent her the request right before the call. So look, I'm pasting in her message. Boom. Great. And now I'm going to toggle back over here and log it in Teamzy. It was a Facebook message. Big blue button says log connect. That's how you log it. Now look what happened. I've got 1 done, 8 left. So I'm making progress. See this little circle filling in? That's my visual cue that I'm making progress. When it's completely blue, I'm done with prospects. Okay. Also, Karen's gone off my list because I completed that connect. She's gone for 30 days. She's gone back into the Teamzy flow, right? Next is Jay. I'm going to send the same message. I'll just paste it in again because it's on my clipboard and change the name to Jay. Okay, you guys with me? Super quick and easy. Don't overthink, just do it. And bring her up. Now you could actually save their Facebook links in Teamzy if you want. I'm always in too much of a hurry to do that personally, but you could do that. So it's there because I know it's so easy. Okay, so I sent her the message. Great. I toggle back to Teamzy and log hers. Now watch what happens. Log connect, 2 done, 7 left. See that circle filling in? So I'm just going to work my way down my prospects list, just sending a little thing, make someone's day message, just spreading little seeds of joy all around. And then when that circle's blue, I go to my next list, which is customers. This is present and past customers. Same thing, just reaching out to say hello. We'll grab a script for Maybell. Great. And there's different scripts now because it's a customer, right? So you may get scripts like, congratulations on great results. That's a good one, right? You're doing great. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on. Like, did they have some improvement, some healing? Congratulate them, right? I love this one too. It's just something simple. Hi, John. How are you enjoying your watch? Please send me an update. Let me know if it could be of help. Simple. Staying in touch with customers. Here's my favorite one. You can use this one with a member too. Hi, Jane. Just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. So again, just using the scripts. I'm just going to paste it in there. You guys get the idea. You would change the name, go send her the message and log it. And as you log connects with customers, now this pink circle will be filling in as your progress. When that circle's filled in, you can move on to the next list, which is your team. Okay. Connecting with members of your team, just staying in touch with them. Look, if you've got 2 people on your team, this will be very easy. When you've got thousands of people on your team, you're going to be grateful you have Teamzy to organize it. Does this make sense? So it's good to get in the habit and start building that foundation now as you're building. Now, we're going to stay in touch with our members the same way. This is super important. People always miss this part. They're like, why can't I just focus on prospecting? First off, customers, staying in touch with your customers is huge. Here's why. When you're in regular contact with customers, they will order more products and they will retain longer. This is a statistical truth. When you're in regular contact with customers, they order more product and they retain longer. Okay. Now, the next reason why, and this is my favorite reason why, to be in touch with customers and build relationships with them. Again, going back to what I said earlier, beyond it being the right thing to do, amen on that one, right? It's the right thing to do. But one of the best reasons to stay in touch with customers is because where do you find new customers? I mean, do you all have at least one customer that you just adore? Like, how do I clone this person? Can you please send me one of your hairs and I will try to make another one of you, right? How do you get more customers like this person? So the best place to get great customers is from great customers. This is age-old business philosophy. It's not from Instagram. It's not from, it's from your customers. Remember we talked about how 90% of purchasing decisions are based on the recommendation of a friend? So your customers are loving your product and they're telling people about it because people tell people about products they love, don't they? So your job is to stay in touch with your customers, build a relationship with them so that they will introduce you to their friends. This is how your business starts growing exponentially, is by introductions. Now, people won't introduce you passively. You have to ask them for introductions, okay? So, for example, I'm talking to Yvonne, my favorite customer. And she's laughing at all my jokes, so I'm going to use her as my example. That's all. She gets special treatment. So she's my special customer. She's doing great. And we're chatting, just by messenger or something. It doesn't mean that we're having coffee together. It's just, that would be great though. But just chatting like, hey, you're doing great. I'm so proud of you. Things are going great for you. She's thanks. I really love it. We're just chatting. And it's like, I'm sure that you've probably talked to friends or family about Healy since this has all started. And before I get too busy this month, Yvonne, I just wondered if there's anybody you care about that needs more information. Can you think of anybody that could benefit from this? And what she's going to do is probably, by me asking that, it's going to kind of make her think like, well, actually, yeah, I was talking to Karen about this the other day and she's intrigued. Great. Would you mind, and this is the key, you guys, would you mind introducing me to Karen? Whatever's easiest for you, Yvonne, just a quick Facebook message or group text, whatever's easiest, group email. Just do a quick intro. I'll get her some more info. We'll take it from there. Do you think you guys could do that? Do you see how incredibly inappropriate it is to do that if you're not in contact with your customers? To just out of the blue say, could you introduce me to your friends and family, please? It's like, ew, icky, right? No, but it's in context of building a relationship, being in touch. It makes total sense. Now, what people often do is they say, could you tell people about me? And I just want you guys to visualize this word picture. Imagine getting in your car with a handful of business cards, getting up to speed and tossing them out the window, and hoping that somebody finds them in the street, picks them up and calls you. That's about the same probability. Make sense? You have to say, no, could you please introduce me, and tell them exactly how easy it is. A group text, a group email, whatever's easiest. Oh, I can do that. Yeah, they'll do it right then. Does it make sense? And now what happens is when you're introduced, guess what the magic has happened? That person already trusts you. Why? Why is Karen going to trust me? Because Yvonne trusts me and introduced me. They lend the trust. It's already given. You don't have to, you have to keep it, but you don't have to earn it. Does it make sense? You get right to helping that person. So you got to be in touch with customers. It's key to the business. They'll order more, they'll retain longer, and they'll introduce you to their friends. That's how you grow the business. Unless you want to be prospecting forever cold off the internet. Who wants to do that? No way. Okay. The next piece is your team. We work so hard to bring new people onto the team, and then what happens? They quit. Have you guys experienced this? Okay, so industry-wide, the number is kind of horrific. It's 50% a year. 50% a year quit. So that means all the work you do, for every 2 people you bring on, 1 quits before the year's over. That is annoying, right? There's an old song called "There's a Hole in the Bucket." Have you guys ever heard? Do you know that song? There's a hole in the bucket. You get the idea though, right? It's like an old farm song. There's a hole in the bucket. They're trying to fill the bucket and it's leaking out the bottom. That's our business. How do you plug the hole? By relationship, by connection, by belonging. That's why we built Teamzy. Okay. Staying in touch with your team is as important as prospecting, because you work so hard to get your team. And what keeps people connected more than anything is personal connection. Oh my gosh, especially now. Especially now. I have to tell you, my kids, I have 2 children in elementary school that are elementary school aged, grade school aged, and they returned to school yesterday for the first time in over a year. And it's still like clown world school, right? They have to wear masks. They can't touch other children. They have to, sit behind plexiglass. I don't know. They do all this weird stuff, but they got to go back to school yesterday. It was so exciting for them. And my sister Grace says, we found a spot where they couldn't see us, where we could hug each other again. And she's like, her 2 best friends and they went into this little spot and they gave each other hugs. Like it was like they haven't, right? I mean, I know you guys are all about energy fields, and right. And we can't get into that energy field 6 feet apart. She was so excited about that. People, I mean, this is a 9-year-old child. You think we're any different? People are longing for connection. People are longing for relationship. People are longing to belong to something. So as team leader, we want to be proactive about it and consistent about staying in touch and building that relationship. Are you with me? Okay. So the first half of our power hour, okay, I'm at the end of my time, so let me hurry this up for you. The first half of our power hour is just connecting prospects, customers, members, just sending those make someone's day messages. Now, what happens when those messages get out to them? They respond. Great to hear from you, Eric. Thanks for reaching out, right? You get these little responses. Oh, that was great. Okay, now what do you do? Well, now the goal is to have a conversation. And this is where people struggle. I mean, I do boot camps and advanced trainings and all kinds of things. I mean, it's been good for my family. People need more training on this because I have all these other products I can sell to people, right? To help them. But the point is that you don't need to be, it's not a mystical thing having a conversation with somebody. I know it's messenger or text message, but just pretend you're face to face. You bump into them. Oh my gosh, how are you doing? I'm great. How are you? Like, what would you do next? You would have a conversation. So just do the same thing, ask questions, be interested in them. But if you do struggle with this, I will give you a secret, special sentence phrase that works unbelievably well. Do you guys want this? Okay, you ready? And again, if you need to reword this a touch because the way I talk is very vernacular to where I live, that's fine. But here's what I would say to somebody. Oh my gosh, what have you been up to? Please send me an update. What have you been up to? Send me an update. Send me an update. Now, there's two things happening here psychologically. One, I want to know what's going on. I want to catch up. But if you ask open-ended questions, how many of you have been trained to ask open-ended questions? Yeah. But what happens with open-ended questions is you make people feel awkward. So when you ask an open-ended question, you follow it immediately with what's called a directive. So you ask an open-ended question, then you tell them how to answer it. What have you been up to? Send me an update. Okay, now I understand. I know exactly what to do, and I'm comfortable doing it. Make sense? How was your holiday? Send me an update. Tell me what you guys did. Like, tell me what you've been up to. Tell me what you guys did for Christmas. Tell me, right? So when you tell them, when you give them the directive, it makes it more comfortable. Does it make sense? So just keep that in mind. That's a little extra. So as I'm talking to, I sent Karen that message. She says, great to hear from you. Great. Glad we're Facebook friends now. Yay. This is awesome. And so now it's like, now I have a chance to have a conversation with her. So as I engage her, well, how have you been? How did you spend the holiday? Tell me what you guys are doing. She's now she's opening up and telling me a couple of things. Oh, we did this, we did that, right? And as she opens up and tells me things, now we have something to talk about. I could ask her questions. How was that? Oh my gosh, that sounds great. And so it's very easy now to engage and be interested in what she's doing. Now, as she tells me what's going on with her family, what would be the very most normal and obvious thing for me to do? It would be to give her an update on what's going on in my life, right? So I'm going to give her my update. Now, you guys, I'm demystifying this for you. How do I bring up Healy in a conversation? Oh my gosh, it's so scary. Well, here's what we've been doing. Here's what my family's been doing. I just told you about my kids going to school. Came out naturally, right? I'm going to tell you about my business. I told you guys about how Teamzy has grown. I'm telling you about my life. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we've been doing. Oh, and did I tell you I started a home-based business? Yeah, I found this amazing product. It's called Healy. Have you ever heard of it? Oh, it's been incredible. This is what it does. And I have to tell you, I've found that I'm so passionate about this and what it's doing for people. It's really changed everything for me. And so do you understand how easy it is to talk about your business when all you're doing is telling people what you do and why you're passionate about it? What you do and why you're passionate about it. Not because I want you to buy one, not because I'm started this whole conversation hoping I can recruit you, but I just really want to catch up. And it's so great to hear what you've been up to. Here's what I've been up to. And I found something amazing that I'm passionate about. Here's what it is. People will respond. Most people will respond with, that's great. Good for you. Good for you. Some people who really love you will be like, wow, that's amazing. Good for you. Right? Other people who really love you will be like, ooh, that sounds scary. That's different. That's change. And we need to warn you away from it. That's okay too. You have to understand where they're coming from. But the point is, most people will be happy for you that you found something you love. And this is exactly how you want to plant the seed of Healy with people. That you have found something that you love, that you're passionate about. Why is this an important place? Because remember, 90% of decisions come from somebody else loving something. So I'm not trying to sell you yet. I'm just telling you about what's going on. And here's what it does. And here's how it helps people. And this is why I love it. And the easiest way, by the way, to bring it back, to finish this conversation off is just to say something like, and yeah, it has been great. And, Karen, if you ever want to learn more about it yourself personally, just let me know. I'll get you more info. Okay. And just leave it at that. And she might be intrigued by what we said. She might say, okay, I'll keep that in mind, which is totally fine, because like I said, I don't expect the first conversation for her to go, send me the sign up link. How much is it? Oh, no problem. How many, because your devices they're not overly expensive, but you're not buying a bottle of skin cream either, right? So it's not going to be like, sign me up. How many of you, any of you have dogs as pets? or I guess cats do the same thing. So my dog, when she's really excited, she gets on her back, puts her legs, all four legs in the air, shows me her stomach and is excited. That's not what people are going to do in the first conversation and say, sign me up, right? Most people. So you just plant that little seed with them. But however, some people will, wow, that is really interesting. I think I would like to learn more about that. That's really cool, right? And so now what? Great. Awesome. Well, Karen, why don't we do this? Do you have a minute right now? We can get off of Messenger and maybe jump on a Zoom. We can just talk for 5 minutes or get on the regular phone, whatever's easiest, right? Maybe a FaceTime. Do you have an iPhone? We can jump on a FaceTime. Whatever's easiest, just a few minutes to talk so we're off Messenger. And that's what I would do if somebody said, yeah, I'd like to learn more. Great. The last thing I would do, a little side note, I know I'm training you guys a lot more than I'm just on Teamzy. The last thing I would do is send them a video about Healy at that moment. I would say, let's get on a call. Let's talk. Okay? Because then if we could continue the conversation, not only does the relationship building better when you're face to face, but now I could ask questions. So what's going on? Like you seemed interested in learning about this. Is there something that resonated with you? Are you struggling with anything? I would have a bunch of questions ready and I would just ask a bunch of questions and take notes. Okay. Now this is just a little very simple sales strategy I'm going to give you guys, just because I don't know why I'm just going for it today. Is this okay? Are you guys getting value from these things? It's called prescriptive selling. And I'm not a big pushy salesperson. Can you tell? I want to help people. How many of you want to help people? So the way you help people is you got to ask a lot of questions and understand what their problem is. Once you understand what their problem is, your job is to solve it. Okay. So have questions. If you don't already have a list of questions that you ask people when you're talking about Healy, make one. 10 or 15 questions. Ask them. Well, what's going on with you? Do you have any health issues that you're struggling with? Do you have any challenges? How's your energy? Ask a bunch of questions. And then identify, when you go through those questions, you identify where their challenge is. Okay, it sounds like you're really challenged with this, this, and this. So got that right? Okay, great. The good news is, based on what you've just told me, this is the sales technique, right, guys? The good news is, based on what you've just told me, Karen, I believe I can help you. Okay, this is an important part of that conversation. I believe I can help you. You're really what you represent. Write this down. You represent hope with a plan. Hope with a plan. I really believe I can help you. That's the hope. Now let me tell you the plan. This is the device I recommend for you. This is the program that I think you need to get with it, right? And here's why, and here's what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to help you. Does it make sense? Cool. Now she is fired up. She's excited. She's like, I thank you so much for taking the time. I can't wait. I'm ready. How do I order it? And I say, okay, no worries. Here's what I'm gonna do, Karen. I'm going to send you an email right now that has everything you need, instructions. It has the links. It has how to buy it. We're going to get you signed up. We're going to get this to you today. We're going to start working together right away. She's like, oh, thank you so much. Perfect. So what do? I do all this, right? But have you guys done this and then found they didn't actually do it? They didn't actually sign up like they said they were going to? Yeah. So do you think you did something wrong? You didn't. You didn't do anything wrong. 80% of people who say they're going to buy don't, at least not right away. They buy after 7 to 10 follow-ups. They buy after 7 to 10 follow-ups. 80% of purchases after 7 to 10 follow-ups. So when she says, I'm in, I say, great, I'm going to send you everything you need. And I tell you what, Karen, I'll follow up tomorrow to see if you have any questions. Sound good? She says, great. So now I've told her I'm going to follow up. Now, if she purchases, great. Congratulations. Let's get started. I'm still going to follow up. But most of the time she won't. I've got the follow-up. So how do I do it in Teamzy? Let me just show you real quick. So I'm going to look her up in the lookup bar because she's not on my dashboard anymore. There she is. That takes me to her record. And I'm going to log that we did a share. So what I'm going to do is open up Connect. Let's say we had a Zoom. So that would be video chat. Great. And I'm going to log that there was a share. See that? So I shared a product solution. So I'm going to click on products and I'm just going to put all of my notes from our Zoom. Okay. And as soon as I toggled share products, it turned on my follow-ups list. So I'm going to actually, it defaults to 2 days, but I'm going to set it for tomorrow. Okay. Now, when I log this connect, a couple things happen. You can see it logged the chat, but it also set the follow-up for tomorrow. Now, if I go to my dashboard, I'll show you that I logged a share. See that? So one of my shares for today is done. And if I go to my follow-ups list, there's Karen due tomorrow. See, the follow-ups list is really for when you've shared. Okay, when you've shared. You don't have to set a follow-up to stay in touch because that's automatic in Teamzy. If you have another reason, you can set a follow-up for any reason if you want to remember to talk to somebody on a specific day, but really it's designed for when we shared. So what happens is tomorrow when I do my power hour, I do my prospects, customers, member reach outs. And then I come to follow-ups. I see I have a follow-up due for Karen. And now I'm going to send her a follow-up message. And I'm just going to use the scripts again. Don't overthink this. I put all of my follow-up messages in Teamzy to help you. So follow-up number 1, there it is. Here's how it reads. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Super simple. Okay. By the way, this is one of my best scripts ever. 20 years refining these scripts, you guys. They're so simple. I'm just telling you, you don't need to rewrite these. What I love about this script, and I'm changing the name as always, what I love about this script is it elevates a follow-up to keeping a promise to a friend. Does this make sense? I promised her I would do it, and I'm telling her I'm keeping the promise. This builds trust. So I've copied that, and I'm going to go send it to her. Look her up on Facebook. Oh, she's not there anymore. Okay, here we go. There she is. Boom. Send my follow-up, which is great. So now I've done my follow-up. I'll go back to Teamzy and log it. Now watch what happens when I log a follow-up. It's going to ask me, did this complete your follow-up? So leave that checked, yes, but I want to add another follow-up. And now I'm going to follow up, let's say on Friday. Okay, I'll follow up again, and I can leave myself any sort of note I want. I'm going to put follow-up number 2. Just to clarify, when I write FU, it means follow-up. Okay, just to clarify, okay, because I have people go, wait, what did he do there? All right, so now when I complete this, it'll complete today's follow-up and set the new one. Okay, so now you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it says due on Friday, next follow-up. So when you do your power hour teams, you connect with your prospects, you connect with your customers, you connect with your members, and then you do any follow-ups that are due. Okay, all those connects create conversations. Your job in that conversation is to really deepen relationships and to share whenever you can what you do and why you're passionate about it, what you do, why you're passionate about it, and to open the invitation to people to learn more. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. And then that creates conversations where you can go deeper and help people. The reason why cold prospecting, sending people offers or links or videos unsolicited rarely work is because you cannot solve a problem for somebody they haven't identified as a problem yet. Make sense? It has to be completely lucky, like a stroke of luck that you hit somebody with the video who has that need. Otherwise, it's like, why? Make sense? Like I don't have this problem. I used to joke, my business when I did network marketing, and I don't do network marketing anymore because Teamzy is full-time. I worked with helping people lose weight, right? And get fit. And I remember we have a Legoland theme park here right near our home. And I was there with my wife and kids, and she said, look at all these overweight people. You could help all of these people. And I said, can you imagine if I walked up to somebody and said, I can see that you're overweight and I help people with this? How well would that go over? Right? That does not go over. It's incredibly rude, isn't it? We can see that it's rude when we talk about being overweight. But it's the same is true about health or energy or attitude, right? They have to identify, you have to get them to a place where they say, I identify with what you help people do, and I need help with that too. Does that make sense? And so this process allows them to get there organically. And at the same time, some of them will not be your customer, but they will love what you're doing and they'll share it with others. Make sense? That builds your business. So hopefully that was really helpful. I just want to encourage you, when you get to the follow-up stage, keep people on the follow-up list, keep following up with them, keep following up with them, keep following up with them. You can follow up with people 10, 12 times. They will not be annoyed, especially if you use my scripts, because following up is how you actually help people. Following up is an act of love. Okay. Following up is an act of love. But you can annoy people if you do things like calling their phone and leaving voicemails and things like that. Doesn't work anymore. People don't like that anymore. Isn't that funny? Remember how much we used to love talking on the phone 15 years ago? And now it's like, why is my phone ringing? Send me a text, leave me alone, right? We've changed. We've had a shift, a societal shift. So hopefully that was encouraging to you. Let's take a few minutes now. If you've got questions, feel free. You can unmute, ask away. Be happy to answer any questions that might have come up. Oh, wait, but before you answer questions, I got to give you action steps real quick. Then we'll do questions. This will only take a second. Action steps. Okay, first off, hold on. We've already seen this slide. Next slide. If you haven't already started using Teamzy, go to teamzy.com. You can get a 14-day free trial. Okay. So you can try it out for a couple of weeks, get it totally free, have full access. If you're already in your free trial, make sure you set up your subscription so you don't miss a beat when the trial ends. Now, we're a US-based company, so we bill in US dollars. So you may see a slight fluctuation each month depending on the floating currency rates. The rate for Teamzy is $29.99 a month, so $30 US a month for Teamzy. However, we are having a special rate right now for Healy, which is basically it's basically $20, $19.95 a month for Healy users. So that's a third off, and you can lock that rate forever. Okay, you can lock in that rate forever. We'll never raise it. You'll always be grandfathered in at that price. For those of you who love Teamzy and you want an additional savings, you can actually subscribe 12 months at a time, and then that saves an extra couple of months off the fees as well. So you can get 12 months right now for Healy for $198 versus the normal of $300. So get started. You know, that comes out to, and again, I know we've got lots of different currencies here. In US dollars, it's less than 60 cents a day to have the system basically plan your business for you, right? Pretty amazing. So get your 14-day trial started if you haven't already. If you're in the trial, set up your subscription. The next action step is choose a success partner to do the trial with you. Say, let's do this together. Actually, groups of 3 are even better. Groups of 3 are the best, right? Triple braided cord, hard to break. So what we want you to do is encourage each other, share your goals, but the most important thing is the accountability. So each day, take a screenshot of Teamzy when you've done your work. Even if you don't get to 100%, maybe you get to 80%, take a screenshot, send it to your partners. I did mine, how about you? I'm telling you right now, that kind of accountability is amazing because we rarely perform for ourselves. We're really designed to be in community. So the success partners works incredibly. And the last action step is I want to give you a 5-day challenge. Okay. Who's up for a challenge? 5-day challenge. I want you to use Teamzy 5 days in a row and connect with 20 people a day. And I don't care if they're prospects, customers, team members, whoever, just send 20 messages a day to make people's day for 5 days in a row. If you do this, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. You guys will be amazed at how many responses. Some of you may be a bit overwhelmed by it, and that's okay. Because being overwhelmed is not something that everyone feels overwhelmed. Successful people are overwhelmed with opportunity. Unsuccessful people are overwhelmed with worry. Which would you rather be overwhelmed with, right? Opportunity. So hopefully that helps. There are your action steps. Let me just see really quick who is in, by show of hands, who's in for the 5-day challenge. Okay. It's very powerful. You know how powerful it is when you, even if you do a wishy-washy one, Yvonne, like that, it's okay. It's powerful. This is public accountability. It's 5 days. 5 days. You can tell me it didn't work.
I'll just adjust the number a little bit, just like maybe a little less than 20.
Even if you did 10, it will blow you away. Okay, so at this point, if you have questions, ask away. Just unmute and go for it. Or even beyond questions, if you have something that impacted you or resonated with you or that you appreciated tonight, you can also share that.
Yeah, I have a question that I ran into with the first time I used Teamzy. I was pretty excited and very motivated and stuff like that. And I checked it, I did it, and then I had my prospect done that I was supposed to get done that day. And I was just continuing, sending messages to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if it's possible to like to transfer them to the next day. Like for instance, if you go away for a couple of days, like next week I'm going to be gone for a couple of days and going to be like offline for
Yep.
3 days, just totally. Wouldn't it be awesome to, like, if you've done more than that day, that they would come up the next day, so then you don't have to do it the next day because you've already done it, something like that? Is that possible?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So Teamzy is Teamzy. The way it works is whoever's there is there. Like it doesn't add new people. It only shows you 5 at a time. It only shows you 5 at a time. And we don't expect you to work 7 days a week. So it's already built. The annual goal is built on 5 days a week, which is still hard to be consistent 5 days a week, but that builds in a lot of time off, right? So it gives you some grace and flexibility. I want you to think of doing your Teamzy Power Hour like exercising, doing a workout, going to the gym, right? So if you work out and exercise regularly, it's great for your health, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a great workout program where you work out 5 days a week, you're really good, you're really consistent, you've been consistent for a long time, you feel great. And then you go away on a trip and for 3 days or 4 days, you don't get to the gym because you're on a vacation. When you come back, do you feel like you need to go to the gym for 6 hours and do 5 workouts? No. What do? As soon as you can, you get back into the gym and you do 1 workout. Okay. So working on your business is the same way. It's about doing something consistently, not crushing yourself. So if you have a few days off, great. Enjoy those few days off. When you get back, you do a power hour. You just do your daily number. You don't need to do extra. You don't need to make up. As soon as you put the pressure on yourself to make up for time lost or days lost, then you kind of set yourself up for failure. Does that make sense? Now, on the flip side, Suzanne, if you said my goal is to reach out to 9 prospects and I'm not, tomorrow I'm not going to be able to do it, so I'm doing 15 today. And then the day after that, you want to do half as many. That's fine. Does that make sense? Like it's not a rigid thing, but also I don't want you to feel like you have to make up days that you missed. The most important thing is just to do another power hour. We tell people, you might have gone 3 weeks and now you're beating yourself up because you're like, I haven't done anything for 3 weeks. If you could just do today's power hour, you're back on track. Does this make sense? You're back on track.
Yeah, it does make sense. I wasn't asking it for like after, but more for like, see, I'm more of a person that just goes with the flow, and then I will have like all the energy and I just want to be busy with my Healy business and do all that. And then the next day I'm choosing, my other business to be busy with. And then I'm like, oh, not today, Healy, no, not today. I'll do it tomorrow. So if it were traceable, then you still know kind of like where you are on average.
Well, you're going to be, you're going to be where you left off. So you'll be right where you left off, and you can look at your stats on your team page, on your team report page, and see what you've done for the month and what you've done for the week.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, you can see what you've done for the week and see where you are on goal. You can definitely do that. But I definitely recommend that you try to be as consistent as you can. Now we've got this so that it can be done in less than an hour. So you want to get as consistent as you can. And I find that if you are finding it's easy to blow it off, not today, then it means that you really haven't dug too much into your why and what your why is. And that's one of the things I didn't go over today, but we have a simple little interface on how to find your why in Teamzy, and you post it on the dashboard. So my why was, I told you guys, one of my whys was to be with my kids, present on a daily basis. And my kids knew this. And so my daughter, who's 9 now, she was 4 at the time. So can you imagine how adorable? So cute. She would say, Daddy, did you, and I told her to do this because the accountability was good. I said, just ask me every day if I did my power hour. So she would say, Daddy, did you do your power hour? And I would say, no, I haven't done it yet. And she said, remember your why. Remember your why. And it was like, there was no way I could say whatever reason I had for not feeling like doing it. Like when I knew I could get it done in 30 minutes with my Teamzy account, like fine. And sometimes she would hand me the phone and I would just do it, you know. So I definitely recommend digging into your why, because you want to be so on fire to do your power hour every day that it feels like it's going to burn a hole in the soles of your feet if you don't do it. Right. And that is how we get excited about our business. So it's about digging down into the why and figuring out what it is that you really want to achieve in life, and understanding that this little bit of time is how you get there. The other piece of the puzzle is, and I just want to throw this out there, and I think the worldwide pandemic proves my point, and that is that many people are motivated by avoiding pain rather than by gaining success. So the other half of the why is to really understand what will happen in your life if you're not successful, right? So sometimes it's like, I want this and I'm running from that, so let me get my power hour done. Does that make sense? And so for me, it was that my kids will grow up without me. You know, they won't have a relationship with me because I'm always working. They'll have everything they need. They'll have new shoes and they'll go to good schools because I'm working my tail off. They just won't have their dad. Right. So that was I call that the dark why, the negative why that motivated me. So find that out for yourselves, what it is you're striving for and what it is that you want to make sure doesn't happen through your striving, so that you can stay focused on what you need to get done. And if you can do that, it's more than just reaching out to 10 people today or 15 people today to make their day. It's this step not only will lift their days, but it will help me move here, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps. I'm looking to see if other people asked things in the chat, but again, go ahead. If you've got anything, just unmute and go for it.
Thank you, Eric. Very helpful.
Simone, did you have a question? Did you have that answered? You've got his Teamzy, a network or an affiliate.
Yeah, like how to join. I have heard it for the first time now. Like I don't know not anything about it. It looks good, like to have that consistently, not just like now and then.
Yeah, so go to teamzy.com and start a free trial. And again, we won't even ask for a credit card or anything while you're doing the free trial. So you can try it out without worrying about anything like that. Go check it out for free. And that's step one. Somebody had asked about affiliates. We don't do, okay, so people have asked me that for many years, and we've never set up an affiliate program because, and people have told me, you're a fool for not doing this, Eric. You should set up an affiliate program. The reason why I've never done it is because I want people to share Teamzy because they love it and because they want to bless others with it. I don't want people to feel like they're being shared this because someone's getting paid for it. Does that make sense? And so it's kind of kept it pure. Now, I honestly, it's just not been our model to do that. And it has grown. We call it the network effect. We grow by the network effect. I mean, we do ads on Facebook and Instagram and things, but we grow because people share it. And I have no idea how Healy found us. Somebody found us, right? One person probably. And now I'm talking to teams all across the place doing Healy. And it's really cool. So this is how it works and kind of how it spreads. So I appreciate, here's what the thing is, I absolutely love that you asked that question, because it means that you are interested in Teamzy and want to share it with others. And I thank you for that. And just to let you guys know, that's how we grow, is by people sharing it. The other thing is when you're building relationships, it makes this a non-competitive business. You know, a lot of people are like, don't steal my customers. But when you're building by relationship, we don't have the same relationships. You know what I mean? We don't have the same, our circles don't cross that often. Maybe occasionally, and that's okay. But I mean, you know, so it becomes non-competitive. You can, as a team, you can grow each other, or even sideline teams, you can help each other, because this keeps people from really digging in the same pots, if that makes sense. So, okay. Oh, go ahead, Yvonne.
Real quick, because I've only been using it for a little while, and of course it takes a bit of time to go through like contacts and rate people and whatnot. So I find that I'm I tend to not follow the power hour thing because I'm always having somebody in my head that, oh, it'll make sense to connect, let me connect with this person first or that person. But it feels like I'm like, how long in general does it take to sort of get in the groove where everybody's rated and you're kind of in the flow that you can really follow the people that come up instead of just, I'm always putting contacts in the top and having them pull up and never really following the left or right thing.
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so a couple of things. One is doing it that way is great. You're connecting with people, but you will have people fall through the cracks that way. Okay, so there will be people you miss or forget about that way. So that's the main benefit of using the power hour flow, is that you will connect with people regularly at the right sequences, and it cycles the list and nobody falls through the cracks. So that's the one benefit of doing that. Now, let me just kind of address the other issue, which is about setting up your Teamzy. The way I look at it is this. We've been blessed. We moved 2 years ago. We bought our dream home, which was a major part of my why was buying this dream home. We bought our dream home. And when we moved in, if you can picture this, and I know you guys have probably all moved into homes, you've got all these boxes everywhere, right? With all of your belongings. So I want you to picture your dream kitchen in your dream home, and you've moved in and you've got all the boxes that go in the kitchen stacked in the kitchen. This is your Teamzy right now, Yvonne. You've got everything there. But now when you want to cook breakfast, you need to go dig through boxes and find a frying pan. Then you got to go look for a fork and a plate, and you're unwrapping things, right? And you're making a meal. And then it's like, now what do I do? Tomorrow I got to do the same thing. You would never do that. See, I got her. She got that one. What you would do instead is you would probably, like me, like stay up all night putting away everything in the kitchen. So in the morning it's ready for breakfast, right? You'd put all the plates in the right cabinet, and the forks and the knives and the pans and everything organized. And it's like, wow, now you're ready to cook. So setting up Teamzy will take a little bit of effort to get it set up, but then it makes your power hour super fast and efficient because everything's where it needs to be. So here's what I recommend you do. I recommend you just carve out some time, and it doesn't have to be a lot of time. I mean, people spend more time watching Netflix than they do building their business, right? So carve out a little bit of time, and you can do this, by the way, while Netflixing. Is you go into your Teamzy list. Let me just show you how to do it. For those of you who don't know how to do it. Go to the team page, okay? So your full list is there. And then let's say you're going to do your prospects. Great. I'm going to click on prospects. And then right here, these 3 dots, I'm going to go to rank mode. And that just activates just the stars for everybody. Now I can just quickly go down the list and rank people just from the gut. Now, maybe this is going to take you, maybe you need to set aside an hour, maybe 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, a couple of appointments to get this done. But here's what I will tell you. 80% of your list or more, Yvonne, will be 3 stars. They won't change. So you don't need to rank the whole list. What I want you to do is scroll and cherry pick the people you feel great about. Like, oh, he's a 5-star. Okay, great. So you're just scanning your list, looking for the people that need to be promoted to 4 or 5 stars. So they get prioritized. Does that make sense? And some people may need a trash can. Some people may need to drop it in the trash can. And you go through that list one time. And once you've done it one time, then the flow in the power hour will be correct. Does that make sense? And then, then it's okay if Karen pops in your head and you want to message her, you look her up and you log it in Teamzy. That's great. That actually resets her in Teamzy anyway, so she won't come back again for whatever her time period is. But so there's my recommendation for you, is pretend you're moving the dishes into the kitchen. Get your Teamzy fully set up now, and just understand that the power hour is going to be your most efficient way to get to work through all your relationships without dropping anybody.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I didn't know about that feature that you just showed where I can see the star lists, like everybody like that, and do that real quick. So that's great.
Yeah, that'll make
Thank you so much.
Does that help all? Okay.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you. I was the same as Yvonne. I didn't know that you could do that, and also delete people off that no longer, you don't really speak to or wouldn't be appropriate for it. So yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Well, it's important that you understand the list of contacts is the most valuable thing you have. And so if it was silver that was handed down to you by your grandmother, you'd keep it polished, right? And dusted. And so same thing with your list of relationships. You need to go through that list periodically. I recommend people that I do consulting with that they do it at least once a year. They go through the whole list, re-rank, look through, reevaluate, delete, add, cleaning it up, polishing it, putting it back. Those relationships are the most valuable thing you have. You know, all of you have one thing in common, is that you have lived a life till now where you've built trust with other humans. It's incredible, right? And there are people, I guarantee you, all of you know people that will get a Healy device just because you tell them it's the good thing. Right? That's because of the trust you've earned over a lifetime. I had people that were like, here's my credit card. What are you selling again? You know, and it's like, okay, let's back it up. Thank you for your support, but I don't want to just take your money. I want to help you. So let's talk about how I can, you know, what I have that can help you. I just want to support your business. Oh, great. And so let me help you. That's my business. Okay, great. You know, type thing. So it's all good. And it's fun and it's amazing. And it's all about being authentically you, building relationships, serving and helping others, which I know is the mission of your company. So I know that will jive together. Hopefully that helps. All right, I've got to get going, and I know we got to put you to bed. So
Simone has a question, if you don't mind, Eric.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. Oh, I see hands up. Sorry.
If you could use it also for different businesses, because like we have the Access business and we have the Healy. Like, would that work with different types? Because like then you have like some people are the same contacts with two businesses.
Yeah.
They might like. Is it possible to have it in more? Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not.
No, I understand what you're saying. A lot of people have multiple businesses and they ask me that question. Teamzy has a real simple tagging system where you can tag contacts with tags. You create your own tags on them. And so what I would recommend is you just tag people, tag them as Healy or tag them as your other business. So when a contact comes up, you know primarily what you're communicating with them about. Does that make sense? So because you're really working the same list of relationships, usually for any businesses that you have. So I know, for example, I've always got 2 or 3 businesses going at the same time. I understand. I've got Teamzy, I've got my consulting company, right? And so I've got people in my list that are Teamzy people and people on my list that are business consulting customers. So I would just tag them and you can keep them separate like that, if that makes sense.
Cool. Thank you so much.
I have had some customers that purchase, 2 subscriptions to Teamzy because they really want to separate their businesses. So that's an option, but I don't think it's really necessary. I think you can manage it with one if you're careful.
Suzanne, do you still have a question?
I had the same question.
Okay, great.
Good. Awesome. Well, hopefully this was really helpful. We did record it. Karen, I will send you this recording as soon as I get it rendered. And so you'll have it to share.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you for everyone for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.